So this is the official website of the Prague Transit Museum in Stresovice, where they have all their preserved trams. The vast majority of these still run, which I know might sound surprising for somebody from the US, where most of our stuff in railway museums doesn't run, but everything in this museum more or less runs, which is very unusual. And it includes a lot of Ringhofer stuff, obviously, but you can see some Tatras way down here. T1 and a T2. I didn't even talk about the T2. They didn't make that many of them. So a T1, a T2, and an original T3 here. And one of the old horse-drawn trams from 1875. If I'm remembering correctly, at least one of their horse-drawn trams there is the very first tram in Prague. Although I don't think this is it, just because it has advertising on it, and I don't remember the original one having advertising. Some work trams. Yeah, so it's an interesting museum. I have a lot of photos of the museum in my iPernity page. Okay, so Colin Seymour maintains a series of very old-looking websites, which are nevertheless not as old as they look, because as he's saying at the top there, in December 2019, I updated and included tram and light rail pages from my archives going back to 1995. But also, right above that, he says the site was completely rebuilt in 2016 using responsive web design and new material. So from November 2019, new pages will be adopting HTML5 as well. So he has a very wide range of interests. So electronics, software, but the tram pages here are what I was interested in, because he has a Czech Trams Page, which is actually not written by him. This is actually a page by Richard Bilek. So I'll jump to that. And this is quite detailed, as you can see. It's very, very long. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because that would be verging on crazy. But he has a lot of old photos, including this one from 1987 of, oops, I'm doing this wrong, a Tatra T2 still in service. And he details other tram systems other than Prague and other than Brno. But one of the things that intrigued me was he mentioned a tram museum in Brno. So I'll run through that quickly before I move on. But we should look at these first. So they have Tramcar 62, which is one of the old, not Ringhofers, but one of the ones made immediately after from the look of it. One of the last four-wheel trams. That was supposedly the last one in service in 1982. And then the RT6N1, which is a prototype, one of the last Tatras. This photo appears to be very old, but I saw this one in service actually in 2005, I think. I have that photo buried away somewhere. And this is a Tatra T1. This was actually in service. This was not a special heritage run. This was taken in 1982, I think it says. Yes. And I know this corner, actually. This is by Hlavní nádraží. So supposedly this is an XT1, but it's a T1 that was upgraded to a T3, number 1692. I don't know if that's actually true, though, because if a tram is numbered in the 6000s, it's generally a T3, an original T3. This is they're saying this is a T3M, but this is actually a little bit more than that. This is one of the later T3s. Then a KT4, which was for export only. Now, I'm going to give a very quick look at the Brno Tram Museum, not in great detail, but because I feel that something I should chase down pretty soon.